Hi, I'm Brian Kingsley. I'm the proud Chief Academic Officer for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, and I have the blessing to work for 9,000 teachers, and I'm glad that you're one of them. A few months ago, I sent each of you an open letter called What Matters Most. It detailed our need as a system to guarantee a viable curriculum for both you and our students in each and every one of our classrooms. Together, we've learned that quality matters, and I'm so excited to provide you high-quality resources. In fact, we believe they are the highest quality instructional resources available today in the market. Months have gone into the selection of these resources, and many, if not most of you, have been a part of that journey through either providing us feedback through field testing, feedback through our community input sessions, feedback through just open emails that myself and our team have received to talk about the selection process with an eagerness to begin implementing. And that's why we're here today. Your presence today speaks to your passion and, most importantly, your professionalism. We know that we're closing out a school year, but we're also beginning to launch with new expectations and lots of joy and lots of excitement, opportunities for both you as a teacher and your children for the 2019-2020 school year. It's really important that you recognize that our curriculum, while it is very important, it's not what matters most. What matters most is our people, it is you. And that's why being here today and immersing yourself with high-quality professional learning paired with the right resources is what's going to enable you to put students in the right scenario to become independent learners and develop the capacities that we want to see for all of our children as being a part of our wonderful school system. I want to thank you for being here today as well as tomorrow, as this 2-day investment in you is only the beginning. We look forward to learning together throughout the entire school year. So team, let's begin. In a short amount of time, we have accomplished quite a lot. You can feel confident in the multi-phase process that involved thousands of stakeholders. Let's review some of those now. We started the process by filtering through resources using the IMET, which stands for the Instructional Materials Evaluation Tool. That runs materials through a filtering process in alignment to our standards. Over the course of several days, nearly 150 CMS educators were trained on the IMET, and they spent over 3,000 hours in this review process. In addition to CMS educators, curriculum in the selection process had to pass through the nationally recognized EdReports process for standards alignment. This resulted in an additional 15,000 hours of review per curriculum. Hopefully this provides you increased level of confidence that we've done our due diligence to ensure that we made the right decision. Once we narrowed the selection field to the final 2 to 3 considerations, stakeholders including teachers, students, school and district leaders, and community members all evaluated how well each of the finalists aligned to our CMS vision of educational excellence. This included rigor and text complexity through standards alignment. It included how we think about what matters most to students by reviewing cultural bias. In fact, there were some curricula that were turned down because they were found to be seriously lacking in this area. CMS students should be able to see themselves in the curriculum, and the curriculum experience should also value the assets each of our children bring to the classroom each and every day. And finally, the curriculum was reviewed in light of its feasibility. In other words, how user-friendly it is for students and teachers. That's really important to you and the children you serve each and every day. Finally, to truly test the feasibility, teachers, students, and district content specialists took deep dives into the curriculum through educator playgrounds and field testing. Throughout all of these phases and exposure to thousands of stakeholders, we collected feedback at every stage from multiple lenses. In all, we combed through more than 800 responses, surveys, and student work samples, resulting in volumes of data. The curriculum you have in front of you today was selected due to the robust amount of data collected and reviewed throughout the process. The process and research has taught us that a high-quality curriculum showcases the interdependence of content standards, instructional shifts, and college and career capacities. Remember, in a guaranteed viable curriculum, standards alignment is simply the floor. Let's spend a brief amount of time reviewing what instructional shifts will occur in a classroom that implements the curriculum with integrity. I'm going to pause there for a second. As we begin to think about as a group the term instructional shifts, I want to remind all of us to just be reflective of why each and every one of us in this room today began to think about becoming an educator in the first place. What inspired our hearts and our minds to want to be servant leaders in our classrooms. I believe, and hopefully you believe, it was to help students make meaning of themselves as citizens, as members of a community, as members of your classroom, and to make meaning of the world. And in many cases across the system, across this country, in public education, we've lost our way. As you encounter this professional development, I want you to strategically think about shifts that need to take place in your instruction to truly prepare students for college and career readiness. In English language arts, I'm asking you to think about and focus on three things. One, the role that complex texts play in your classroom through instruction, as well as how students learn. Meeting kids where they are never grows their capabilities as a reader. Students need equal practice in both explicit phonics instruction and on grade level text to build comprehension and to make meaning. This key shift is supported by much needed recent research and will require a heavy lift of you as the teacher, but we've got your back. The next 2 days will help build capacity in this area, but recognizing that learning and practicing in this area over the course of the year will take patience, earnestness, and grace. The second shift is about how we utilize evidence grounded in those grade-appropriate texts. Gone are the days of the reader response and how a student simply feels about a text. Students need opportunities to wrestle with ideas, form opinions, and back them up using solid evidence. Our third shift in English language arts is the need for students to build deep background knowledge. Students that use nonfiction to broaden their scope and understanding, to use texts as windows and mirrors to themselves and the world, are better able to grasp new concepts because they can attach themselves to prior learning. Text sets that support anchor texts intentionally help build a student's knowledge on key topics, helping make major moves at eradicating inequities. It's so important. As we begin to think about instructional shifts for mathematics, the first shift that I'd like us all to begin to think about and learn together is on how we need to ensure that our instruction must focus on the major work of the grade. Before our changes in standards almost a decade ago, teachers like yourself felt a ton of pressure to cover so many topics that many may have repeated throughout grades and only been able to do that an inch deep and a mile wide. In fact, many of you, as I've had an opportunity through teacher focus groups, still feel that way today. It is important that our instruction not only focus only on the major work of the grade, but that our instruction provides coherence across major topics. That's the second shift, providing coherence. This allows topics to be explored a mile deep and for us to make connections across grade bands. As we begin to deepen our focus and provide coherence to our students with their learning, the third and final shift in mathematics deals with how we approach rigor through the development of conceptual understanding, procedural fluency, and real-life application. In many math classes today, we are very good at developing the procedural fluency of our students, but it's not always in service of students understanding the why behind the numbers, behind the math, and it's not also always in service of providing opportunities for students to apply that mathematics to real-world applications. Our local workforce is demanding that our children become graduates that are problem solvers, that can communicate around complex thinking, and the role that mathematics plays in their learning is so critical for our children to be able to be those citizens in our very own community. The way that we approach rigor in mathematics is very often referred to as a three-legged stool. Quality math instruction cannot occur unless all three elements are taught with equal intensity. We've reviewed the necessity of standards alignment in high-quality curriculum and how instructional shifts transform the student experience. So let's begin to review what we mean when we reference college and career-ready capacities. I'd love for you to locate the document, which is one of 3 key foundational documents in CMS at your table that looks like the document that you now see on your screen. Please spend a few minutes reviewing the capacities and their descriptions. As we provide you time to read this very important foundational document to our district, which truly is our new emerging vision for learning for all students in CMS, I would love for you as a teacher and today as a learner to please make notes of sentences, phrases, and words that speak to your mind and your heart as you reflect upon your own practice in your own classroom. In a moment, you'll have an opportunity after reviewing this document that you will be able to engage with participants in small groups that are close in proximity to you. Share with each other your sentences, your phrases, and your words. The goal of this opportunity to collaborate and to reflect is to make meaning of our shared vision of instruction and learning. As a small group, we want to encourage you to discuss what impact do these sentences, phrases, capacities that we've lifted up here today have on learning experiences that students should have in your classroom. Pause. We recognize that in many and most cases, today is your first opportunity to interact with this document. That vision may not be completely shared yet, but as you begin to think about how you plan for instruction, as you begin to think about your mindset around how you will receive learning today and tomorrow, I ask with you to have an aspiration to not see this document as a hope, but to ensure that this document and how our students learn and the capacities that we cultivate, that we intentionally plan and execute against those capacities. In your PLCs, and as you sometimes plan individually, I ask that you continue to have this document in front of you and be reflective upon the particular behaviors and actions that we ask kids to participate in and back them up against these capacities. Please locate and make use of the note catcher that's provided by your facilitator today. It's important that you recognize that these capacities are identified in many places around this recent investment with your new curriculum. And I'm excited for you to have the opportunity to see that for yourselves today. Throughout the training, remember to stop, take notes on specific action steps within the adopted curriculum, and ensure that it continues to link to your own learning and the We Are Ready document. As a district, we believe that high expectations, high quality resources, and high performing teachers are exactly what every one of our students deserve. I want to thank you for allowing us the opportunity to invest in you, to invest in your craft. We look forward to learning and growing with each other together throughout the course of the year, because our success is really built upon one another, investing in each other, listening to one another, and making sure that we recognize that this is a commitment not just for today, but for the goals of our entire strategic plan. I invite you to dive deeply into the learning around your new content and curriculum with joy. I wanted to provide this opportunity of learning with you before you left for this summer, knowing that many of you like to get out ahead to ensure that as we begin the 1920 school year, you want to make sure that as those bright-eyed children enter into your classroom, that you have the opportunity to hit the ground running. You've deserved these resources for a really long time, and we are so glad to be able to provide them to you. I look forward to working with you throughout the course of the year. Thank you so much.